between you and me and the universe, he's actually a really, really good writer. I love The Courier, and it was one of my favorite like little like cyberpunk more like you hit all my like buttons on that one because like it's kind of got like that Johnny Mnemonic. I'm delivering a package somewhere. You got motorcycles, you got crazy chases, interesting characters. It was like, you're really good, dude. This is Gerald Brandt, ladies and gentlemen. So how you doing today, Barry?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I made you feel good right off the bat. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm a good right. Thank you.
I'm just gonna blush, and then my face will blend in with my shirt, and nobody will see me sitting here.
Gerald, right? No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, no, like we were talking a little bit. So I am very jealous of Gerald's choice in books. Some of them I've owned. Like, I guess I'm a big Jacqueline Carey fan. There's that Threader Origins book by some guy I have to get at some point. I hear he's good. I hear it, anyways. Right, I have to get that. But it's cool because I love Gerald's story of how he got published, and I think it's interesting that I'm glad like Dawes kept you on board, and glad that Dawes letting you keep writing the stories. But I mean, how's it evolved for you? Like, you are what a lot of authors go for. You want to be traditionally published, and you write books and all that stuff. And I mean, how has that relationship evolved?
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's a tough question. I think it's turned out really well. I think I have a good relationship with Daw and my editor Sheila Gilbert in particular, who happens to be up for a Hugo again this year for editor long form.
She deserves it. She's amazing. I want to talk to her again at some point because we had like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I could tell like there was that moment like we always have those conversations that you're about to really get into it, and you got to go. And it's
like, she's always busy at cons. That's just it, right?
Oh yeah.
But I'm totally kind of hoping that she can make it to Montreal. Kind of hoping. It's not that far a trip for her, but we'll see how all this COVID stuff goes down first.
I do get the feeling that and I've said this on to you. I think when we get towards the end of the year, there's going to be a paradigm shift of some kind. You can kind of just everybody's tired. I think that's the one thing. That's the one thing about this is like, right now, I'd be like, seriously, I just want to go have a pub with my buddies. That's what I really want to do. And that and honest to God, right? Considering the insanity we have, Canada has again, we're not going to look at the United States. Like, that bar is not really worth mentioning. But we haven't done great either. And to the point where it's just like we're all kind of like, I'm at this point. Like, that's where I'm at. It's like,
Yeah. I want to, I want to go out. I want to see my friends. I want to go to conventions again, meet all the friends that I haven't seen in well over a year now. It's just, But Manitoba has officially announced we're into our third wave.
Mm-hmm.
So we're expecting some little tighter shutdowns. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we're here and now, and I'm watching. And like I said, Ontario is a strange. I don't know what Manitoba's been like, but Ontario is a bizarre comedy. That's how I describe it. It's like it's a bizarre comedy. So I kind of like. Yeah, we'll get beyond COVID there because I don't think either of us really. I don't really want to talk about COVID at this point. I don't think you really do either.
No.
But I will ask this. Oh, we will ask this, and then we'll move on. Two of them. What's the strangest thing about this whole time? Not the good, bad, but like just something that's really weird that you've noticed in this time that you're like, I never would have imagined this had happened. And number two, what have you learned, if anything?
Strangest things. I really haven't left my house, so the strangest thing would have to have been inside my house. And well, my whole family's FUBAR. We're all just going bananas, right? And we're still getting along, but tensions are rising. So
well, yeah, because it's a normal like release point. Like here I'm house sitting for my dad right this minute. Do you know what the wonderful thing is? We're not in the same house. We'd have killed each other. Like we would have legitimately killed each other. We just would have. I love my dad. I love him very much, but we are different people at this point in a lot of ways. And yeah, I just wouldn't like. But I mean, we have this like again, going out. There's a release. You can feel good. You can scream. You know, you can just scream if you have to scream. Then you're back. Okay, I'm good. I've dealt with my. I've gotten rid of the stress, and I can move on. So
yeah.
All right.
And we're lucky. We're getting along not too bad.
Oh, sure.
Like I say, there's ups and downs, but we're getting along not too bad.
The
thing that sorry.
No, keep going.
Okay. And your second question was what have I learned?
Yeah.
I'm an introvert by nature. I really. Yeah, I'll say it. I don't like people, but I've learned that I need them and I miss them, and I want to sit down and talk with people. I want to walk through conventions. I want to do a bunch of stuff, and then I want to disappear again and do my own thing. And not being able to do that has severely hurt my creativity for the year, severely. So
yeah, I totally get that. I understand that. It's I think the best lesson we can learn, and then we will move on from this because again, God only knows none of us want to talk about this shit. But it's this: we're better together. We are better when we are able to interact with each other. I miss silly fights. I miss recess. Yeah, you know. And everyone's gonna laugh, but it's like honest to God, like no matter how old you get, you need to play. Like it doesn't matter how old you are, right? Especially since you're a creative. It's like, oh my gosh, you need those moments of like childhood glee, even if they're like that quiet room where you're playing D&D, or maybe it's video games. Maybe you just need to watch a television show with the comfort of home. But we need to play, like we all do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And no playtime for over a year has made all of us very, 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 very dull people. So
and very, very, very grouchy people.
Yeah, it's true. Very, very true. But going forward, when we talked last time, I actually first off, I was really surprised how shy you were. Actually, the first time we actually really talked, because every time we've talked, we've had fun. I mean, I'm a boisterous lad now. Maybe I just make up for it for the both of us. But the thing I got, like we always would have a conversation talking. I remember when the interview was like, wow, he's just really a shy, sweet guy. And I hope that right. And that was the biggest takeaway I got from interviewing you last time. It's like you're just a really shy, sweet guy that I don't want to say fortunate because that's not the right word. I think I truly think that this is just my belief that good things happen to people because they're ready for them to happen to people. And you were talking about how Sheila signed you last time, and that was like such a thing. And she told me actually a little bit about that when I interviewed her. And it's just like it just enhanced like you were ready for that opportunity when it finally came your way. And you've made the most of it. I mean, you finished one full series since we last talked, and you're on another one. So, kudos to you, my friend. Congratulations on your success.
Thanks. And I don't know if it came to me because I was ready for it, but it was a combination of luck and perseverance, and according to some people, good writing. So it's not just because it was my due or it was coming to me or it was my turn. There's a bunch of different things that mix together to make things happen.
Let me elaborate that a little bit more, because I it's not that no one can control like when things happen to them. Like you met Sheila like almost by coincidence. Like she wasn't like it just happened, and there was an opportunity there. But I also think there's something to be said of being smart enough to embrace the opportunities that come your way. We don't ask for everything we're getting. Like, in fact, from almost all of us, I guarantee you, none of us get quite what we imagine, right? But it's recognizing those things for what they are, and embracing them. And there's something to be said about that. And when I say you're like you were ready and you were ready for it, maybe it's like, oh my gosh, I got signed by Daw Books, and that's awesome and an incredible thing. And you get that like high, still mean, oh my god, I did it. But it's one thing to get there; it's another thing to stay there, right? And you've stayed there. So that's you, and that is you.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Daw, though, as well. A lot of the publishers nowadays, if you look at, especially the big names, if you look at Tor or whatever, you look at the bigger names, and they want you to sell. And if you don't sell, or if you don't sell well enough, they'll tend to not take a second or third or whatever book from you. The nice thing about Daw Books is they still really like to grow their authors.
Yeah.
So even if your first series doesn't necessarily do well, and I really don't know what my numbers are compared to anybody else's, but even if it doesn't do well, they still want to grow you as an author, and they'll give you some more work as long as they can see that your skills are increasing. They'll want to grow you and try to get you to be, the best you can be. And it's very rare for publishers to do that nowadays. The small press still does that, though.
Well, yeah. Well, it's just one of those. It's one of those situations where I think it's a good fundamental, and I think what's happened with a lot of the big. I tend to think of it this way: big publishers are corporate, smaller presses are more entrepreneurial. Corporate. Like the bigger structured things is you only have time to worry about the big things, and a lot of the little things kind of slide under the cracks until they become a detriment to your bottom line. I think also because the big traditional publishing has become a smaller space, and indies / crowdfunding / there's so many different ways to be published today, and you can be profitable in all of them. Right, it's not a question anymore that we've had it in the eras where a traditionally published author from a big house is going against an indie author, and there's been a draw, right, between both because the book quality was the same or on par, right, which speaks a lot to both writers actually, but at the same time, right, it's like so. It's trickier to stay in the traditional because I think what's happening even with traditional publishing is it's niching, right? It's focusing on, okay, this is what we do best. Let's worry about what we do best, whatever that is. And I think Daw realized like we are best. We're not the biggest guys in the building. We don't need to be. We have a solid following that we've built over decades and decades, and we've published great books from some just great authors like Julie Juneda, Mercedes Lackey. You're in the same name as they are, though. That's still got to be surreal for you. That's got to be surreal for you.
Having dinner with these people is just a wondrous thing. Yeah.
I've met Misty and Larry. They are wonderful people. They make you better just kind of being in the same room.
Yeah.
It's absolutely like uncanny how much I've met them a few times. Let's see. Let me think. So, have you met everybody? Have you met everybody from Daw?
Oh, everybody?
Yeah. That works for them or has written for them?
I believe I have met most of them. I took a trip to New York 2 years ago to visit their offices and take a bit of a holiday and do a quick visit to New York Comic Con. So I had a tour of their offices and I met most of the people on that trip. I think there might have been maybe one or two that weren't there that day, but I think I've met most of them. Yeah.
So I got to ask this because I had Spider Robinson on the show and he told me a really cool story about a publisher having like the Heinlein books on the wall that weren't actually stamped, the old thing. Does Daw have anything cool like that in their office? Because they make cool stuff all the time. I'm sure they've got some trophies there.
Yeah, the space when I went to visit them, the space they were in was quite nice. Everybody had their own individual office, and I really only spent time in Sheila's office because she's my editor. So
yeah,
but yeah, she had ceiling high bookshelves with her Hugos, which I got to get a picture taken of, right, and with me holding it, which was always nice, and just
It could be you one
shelves
day.
and shelves of books. And
It
what's
could be
that?
you. It could be you one day, man.
Well, I'll cross my fingers. I
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
hold my
I mean,
breath, but I'll cross my fingers.
dude, I won an award for my big mouth. It can happen to me. It can happen to anybody. Right, right, right. And I say that because listen. Again, I know that sounds like I'm being like overly nice, maybe a little bit, but I want good things for you. I think you're really good at what you do, and so who knows? Maybe one day I'll talk to like Hugo, Nebula, award winning. I mean, it's good to dream a little too, don't you think?
Well, we all dream about those things, but we'll see. I'm eligible for an Aurora next year, so cross my
Yeah,
fingers for that one.
yeah. I'm actually eligible. I hopefully will be two next year. We'll see how that goes. But okay, so I'm going to ask this because although is kind of on the pipe dream thing, but I am kind of curious because we've seen a lot of like science fiction concepts be adapted to stuff like TV, movies, games, things of that nature. Now, yes, I know it's like you hope and you hope and you wish, but I know like we all have those things like what we want. Like I'm doing an Alice in Wonderland thing. I want to make that a board game. I accidentally created a board game for it, so I'm going to develop it, and I'm going to actually just make it happen because
Perfect.
I'm not right. But what's yours? What is it? Like, would you like a movie? Would you like a television series? Because The Courier would be a cool either as a movie or a series. It would be really cool either way. I think as a movie is better, but it still could be a fun miniseries. That's my opinion. I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, the pipe dream. There's a couple of pipe dreams. One is I would like to quit my day job and do writing full time. I think that's the first one I want, right? Because I do work. I don't work 5 days a week. I work 4 days a week, right? So I do have some. I took some extra time to get my writing and stuff done. But yeah, a movie would be awesome. I was actually in conversation with a rather big house with 4 letters, starts with S, for The Courier a few years back when it first came out. But it being Hollywood, these things are flighty, and so that fell through. But I think Threader Origins would make a great movie as well. But I think the special effects costs might be a little bit high.
Make that like a Japanese anime. That'd be your way around it. That would be totally your way around. Then you can have all the effects you want. It's like, oh my god,
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, man. I mean, you always. I think you always have to go big because I do think. I do think that even though, and again, like you said, you're very fortunate. You had the opportunities come the way that they did, but I mean, you're working hard at this too. Like honest to God, like I mean, I know, like even when you're working your day job, I'm sure there are a few times during the week. I'm gonna sneak like an hour in and work on this because I'm gonna do it. Because now you might be a little computer sick of your computer day at the end of the day because of the current climate, and I bet you that more than anything, even more so than even not meeting people, that's probably what's gotten in the way of your creativity the most because you're in the screen all the time. You're like, I need to do something else.
Yeah.
Anything else.
Yeah. This has become my home from, I usually wake up around 5 in the morning to start writing. So I write from 5 to 7. Although, like I say, the whole COVID year took the wind out of my sails. So I've just only recently restarted doing that. And then I work, right? Or I'll stop at breakfast and a shower and a coffee, and then I'll work. And then at 5:30 or 6, I'll have dinner. Then right after dinner, I'm back in here until 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I'm basically in this office for, well, how many hours is that? That's far too many hours. Yeah. I have a nice shelf of scotch just out of camera.
Yeah. No, it's like, you some nights after you're done dinner, you're like, you know what, I need a drink because I'm here way too much. Hello, old friend. No, you don't want to. I totally get that. Totally get
so recently what I've been doing is I've been taking my laptop to a different part of the house.
Yeah.
And just sitting at the kitchen table or sitting in front of the fireplace in the back room or whatever, and just changing the location, because as soon as I sit here, I'm back into working in the office mode because that stuff comes easy, right? I can do my work, my day job work. It's easy. There's a lot of it, but it's easy. And I'm a procrastinator and I'm lazy, so I'd rather do the easy stuff than write.
Well, we all procrastinate. So my college teacher said this best. I love this. He started in it now. Just unfortunately, I was in full flake mode. I didn't take advantage of this like I should have. But he was totally right about this. It's like, look, guys, look, we're all procrastinators. But you know what I really would want? It's like, you can get this all done in 8 weeks. This is a 15-week course, but I've designed this that if you decide to work really hard, after the 8th week, if everything's done, you're done, and you never have to come here again, right? Because I'm a procrastinator like you, but I figure I'll give you an incentive. Now I'll be here because I'm supposed to be here, but if you get it all done, I don't care. And if you take an extra couple weeks because it was an assignment there, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, just get the work done and go. But because our natural tendency, it's like, well, I don't really have to do something like, that natural tendency is like, well, I don't gotta do anything. You know what I did today? And I played video games today. Why did I play video games today? Because I'm waiting for my day job because I'm freelance for a year. I'm waiting for my day job to start. Now I'm doing other things, but there are days I'm lazy because I procrastinate. It's not, and like tomorrow I shave this beard because I should, because I gotta keep myself looking like a professional or some such thing. It's hair, man. I'll be able to braid my hair and if I let it grow over like another 3 months, I can totally go like with braids. I can totally do it. I can totally do it. Right, I could totally do it. I think I'm going to butcher all of it, but the top, the very very top of it, it's going to butcher all of it. But it'll be like almost like from here to there, it'll be like short hair again, so I'll look like I'm 20 again. It's like, hi, I'm young again.
I've been told that bald is beautiful, so you should try that.
Yeah, I might. Could you just imagine? I don't announce it. That people like tune in live and I'm bald. They would be like, "Is this Josh?" Like, no, it's me. It's totally me. Like, why'd you do it? Gerald dared me. Right?
Double dog dared you.
Yeah, that's right. Double dog dared me. That's right. See, not the braids. Braids is the no. Like you're like so bald or braids. Like what would you prefer on that one?
You know what? I think you should do both.
Okay.
You just right around here, right where the glasses are, bald all the way up, and from here down, braids.
Okay. Mess everybody up. It's like, what the hell did you do? Oh, it's like, I did this on purpose. I can grow my watch it. If I didn't know this will have my shades all at the top of my head, and I can't grow it anymore. It's like, what the hell? It's like, what?
Join the rest of the world, then, man.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I like the fact that I'm approaching 40 and I still have pretty much all my hair. So it's like the only difference is my hairline's a little more visible in some spots, but that's pretty good for 40, I think. So yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, my dad's 90 plus, and he's got a head of hair you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I can.
I'm jealous.
The world's changed, right? I mean, the world changed. The world has changed. Like what Wheaties he ate and what Wheaties we ate has completely evolved in 100 years.
Oh yeah.
I saw a picture of bread from like 1930. It is completely unrecognizable to what we have today. Like what we have today doesn't even look like it at all. It's a facsimile at best to what that was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like so. I mean, the world constantly changes. Like I'm scared. Like, what will bread look like in 100 years? Right?
I won't be around.
No, you don't know that. They find a way to maybe they find a way to give you the fountain of youth. How would you like your hair back? You'd be like, I'm in. It's like 30 years. Like you go beyond. You can vicariously be a teenager again at 100. Hey, this sounds really funny, but the truth of the matter is, I mean, we're coming to we've gotten to the point where like DNA and the computer can talk to each other now. So DNA and computer can talk to each other. Like it's possible that maybe we live longer. I would not want to live forever. I think immortality would truly be hell. I truly, truly believe that. But could you talk me into an extra 50 years? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, right? You might be able to do that. You might, right?
Yeah, but you know, an extra 50 years when you're 40 isn't bad. An extra 50 years when you're, 95, 100, yeah, it's a different
See,
story.
I'm gonna be the craziest 80-year-old ever. I've already made this. I have this great plan in my head. I don't like because I look at it this way. I barely give a shit now, and I'm 40, and I barely give a crap now. At 80, the gloves will be completely off. I'll just like I will completely run amok. I might need naps occasionally. I may need a new pair of underwear. I'm good with that. I'm gonna right. I am going to do all the crazy things. I'm doing them now. Like I quit a very very stable job to pursue freelancing because I wanted to.
Yep.
Right? Because the worst that can happen is like right this minute, like right literally this minute, I'm waiting for that job, my new job to start. I'm broke right this minute. Doesn't matter because tomorrow that can change. Like Daggett, right? If this falls through, something else will come up. I'm not. Things always can and will change, right? I'm crazy now, so I mean, I can I'm terrified what I'm going to be like in 10 years, let alone like 30, 30, 40. Shit, they might, I'll be wearing out people half my age. Like, we can't keep up with you. Yeah, like because of it, like, and I might be in a wheelchair. I don't care. Like, it's just like, you know what? This life is all about how you live this time and only time. So as you get older, it hurts a lot more. That's one thing I've noticed. I like me at 20 didn't feel the pains I feel now, and I'm sure you're a little older than I am. You feel more pain than I do. I'm sure at this point because you've been alive longer and you've seen stuff.
All mine's emotional pain. I can deal with that.
Yeah. Well, that's why the scotch is right beside you. Emotional pain. I feel so much better. John. This is not the conversation I expected we were going to have. But I get the feeling, and maybe I'm wrong on this one. If I'm wrong, then call me on it. But you needed to laugh like this today. I could be totally off base on that, but it's.
I need to laugh like this every day.
Yeah, fair enough. But I feel like it's like you're. I don't know. Just it felt like something popped in a good way. Like a release, and it's like boom. No, we like laughter's great. Like I've tried to be positive in this time, as positive as I possibly can be, because I recognize the fact that left alone, a lot of us will fall because we don't know how this is going to all end. It's kind of scary in that sense, right? Maybe the overlords will enslave us all into mankind, and we'll all be zombified. But I don't know. I mean, that's the one worst case scenario. Another worst case scenario is we're all broke. Oh shit, I'm already there, so I'm not nothing to worry about there. Not already there, right? But number three. I mean, change is always a scary time. It's always a scary thing, and I have some ideas. Of where things are going, and some of the problems that have been revealed in this time definitely need to be addressed. And I think they're going to be addressed one way or the other in the next decade. That all said, it's all changing, and that's scary. Because right? So I've decided that I was just going to be as creative as I possibly could be. I tried to be relatively inspired, make people laugh, make you think, hopefully a little bit too, because, it's really easy to go along with the program when you're not sure what's going to happen. And that's not always a good thing either. Question some stuff, a healthy dose of skepticism, but also a healthy dose of joy, because honest to God, especially right now, the world is such a cruel place. Why add to it? Like, why add to it? If you can avoid adding to it, just don't. Like, maybe I'm crazy. You know?
I'm good at adding to it though, because I'm a grouchy old man.
Yeah. Get off my lawn.
That's right. I don't have a lawn today. I have about 8 inches of snow that has fallen since yesterday.
That would make me grouchy too. And I'm not gonna lie. That would make me a little grouchy too. I'd wake up like, God damn it. It's
Yeah.
almost I'm halfway to through April. Stop. But you
Yeah.
are in Winnipeg. So I
Yeah,
mean
on Sunday my tulips were coming up, and on Monday we had snow.
Did you weep for the tulips? Because you might I weep for the tulips on that
You
one.
know, they're strong. This will just add some water to the bulbs. They'll survive.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, because I'd be like,
Yeah,
thinking
well, I
like
mean,
this.
they were only maybe about half an inch out of the ground,
Okay.
and even then, like having tulips up by mid-April is far, far, far too early for Winnipeg, right? Because this is the kind of weather we get.
Yeah,
So
I
really,
mean,
we shouldn't be getting anything coming out of the ground until early May.
that's about right. Because I can see, like, I lived in Calgary. It's not quite Winnipeg. Like, you guys have to have a proclamation you guys don't want. You're colder than Calgary most of the time.
We've been colder than the surface of Mars.
Yeah. So I mean, so you guys like in Calgary. It's like when I lived in Calgary, I would laugh and say minus 40. It's like, who's laughing at you, Winnipeg? They're laughing. That's a normal day there in the wintertime. Their cold is minus 60.
Yeah, well, not that bad. I mean,
So
I remember taking my kids to school when they were younger, and it would be minus 50-ish with the wind chill, right? Minus 55. Real temperature would probably been about minus 40.
I have seen 55. I saw that once. It's like, how?
Yeah, you just dress for it.
Yeah.
But and the snow that we had is phenomenal, because we had a very dry fall last summer, and we had very little snow this winter. So our farmers were starting to cry. They desperately needed some moisture. So I mean, it's April and we already had fire bans in Manitoba because it was that too dry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. Like your summer, so I went to a writing retreat out there, and you have a lot of insects out there.
Our mosquitoes will carry away small children.
Yes. You're not quite as bad as Vancouver Island's mosquitoes, though. I went to Alert Bay once, but when you can actually identify all the parts on a mosquito, like all of them, that's a big ass mosquito. It's like, oh my God, I see everything. I mean, beautiful nature, but the bugs, you're like, oh gosh. And then just imagining a spider trying to eat that. It's like, no, I think the spider. Or then I had another horror movie. What does a spider look like? And that's like a horror movie right there. It's like that island. If the mosquitoes are that big, what are the spiders?
See, I didn't think they had that many mosquitoes. So interesting.
Well, it was in Alert Bay. It was way. It's up, like it's really up at the northern end of the island. So you're almost at the point like there's literally on that island when I was there might have been 30 people that lived there. Like it was not a big. The closest thing in my life where it was timeless. Like you actually had no sense of time. Everything just moved so. And it's amazing because you never like in a city, like in any city, you always have kind of a sense of motion going on all the time. There, nothing. Like
nothing.
You're just like, and this was me at 18. I'm not ready for this. Like inside my head, like this is great. I'm so glad I'm going home after a week because I don't know if I could handle 2. I was just like I'm at 40. Probably could handle it better,
but not much.
I could last a month. I could last a month. Then after that month, I'm probably swimming the shore. Like I'm not saying I'm in the great enough shape, but I would be that motivated to just go. You know what? Can't take it anymore, and just right. But it's still an amazing experience in life when you have like that. You lose all sense of time. Small towns move slower, but like if you're in places like that, small towns look like warp speed, and that's just like I'm not doing it justice.
So if you only have a week to live, you want to go there so it lasts longer.
Yeah, that's right. It's the most amazing week ever. Like totally, right? And then at that point, maybe the day before, because there are whales that out there sometimes. Like Jonah got swallowed by a whale. That'd be a hell of a way to go. Just go out, see, not come back. Right?
Are there any great whites out there?
No, great whites are. So my family's from Malta. This is going to sound really horrifying to some people listening to this. Back in like the early 70s and 80s, they would actually, in the swimming areas, they would actually dynamite the ocean. They would actually have explosives in the ocean. So sharks, because they're big, like that's where white sharks bred. That's where they breed. So any sharks have any ideas about eating on people, you hear a boom. you hear a boom.
I don't think they could get away with that nowadays.
No, they can't get away with that now. But again, it's an understandable thing because you actually cannot see a white shark come up, like because just the way their whole underbelly, you can't see it, right? Yeah. They're big giant fishes. The Mediterranean Sea is ginormous, like bottom of the ocean, incredible. Like it's beautiful, but that's also where the sharks breed. They tend to prefer warmer climates like that. So it's usually there or Australia. Like those are the two spots that the white sharks live and breed for sure. British Columbia is not their habitat. Tiger sharks maybe, but white probably it's not. I don't know. Right? It's not the same. Right? It's totally not.
They got a bit of a bite to them, though, don't they?
Yeah. They like the garbage compactors. They'll eat anything, and I mean anything. They took a tiger shark's stomach out once. There was actually the human garbage. It was consuming was incredible. I think I can't remember. I want to say they found a piece of a drum inside them. Like I'm not sure if that's accurate. Like they literally, I mean that's it. They literally eat anything.
Yeah.
But again, not intimidating. Like not like white shark. You just look at it like that shit. That's
it. Game over, man.
Game over. But yeah, tiger shark's like right.
Yeah.
Right. But watching whales and dolphins is a cool experience. I didn't get to do that in BC, but I did get to do that in San Diego.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
San Diego is beautiful. I want to go back.
Yeah, I would. If I would live there if I could. Being Canadian, that's an impossibility. But the climate is beautiful. The people, all the ones that I met are friendly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a beautiful place.
I'm dual citizen. I can live there.
Oh, there you go. And they do have a fantastic bookstore, Mysterious Galaxy.
So my only time I ever went to San Diego Comic-Con, bed and breakfast I stayed at was great. Next door was a comic shop, and then a block from the ocean. I was in heaven, man. I was to this day, I do not know why I didn't stay, because I should have. I really should have. But I will say that so there are like 3 or 4 places that live in the United States: Vegas, Phoenix, San Diego, that area I'd live in. I'd stay as far away as I could from LA as possible. Dude, you could not pay me enough money to live there. Like it just there's just no way.
Yeah, I've been through there a couple of times, and there's some nice spots on it for visiting. But I don't. It's too big a city for me.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Even I think I could handle Toronto now. I think I could. Younger me couldn't do it. Older me probably could now because I'm older / wise something. I'm older / something. That should be a T-shirt design, don't you think? Oh, I'm older / wise ? What? I'm older / something, and that would be like
The only thing I can guarantee is I'm older. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm older. I so like, do you feel like every day you know less and less about how the world works? Because I feel that way sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, especially with the way that's changing so rapidly now, it's like my understanding of people has gotten significantly less. You know, the way some people are behaving about masks and the anti-vaxxers and stuff. I don't comprehend that. It's not something I can understand.
So, once upon a time, I was an anti-vaxxer. Would you like to hear it? Like, would you like to actually hear the reasoning? Do you
Sure.
want? Yeah, okay. So here's the thing, and this is the part that's valid. I think is valid. Is this our solution right now? Our solution right now, if you really sit there and think about it, based on what you're seeing right now, like, let's be honest with you. Has any of our government acted with a shred of integrity in the last year? I mean, honestly,
There's been issues.
Okay. So let's just go one step further. So if these very people offer you essentially, okay, so the Moderna and the not the Aztec, not the Johnson & Johnson. What's the other one called?
The Pfizer.
The Pfizer. They're made with essentially, the Pfizer one especially is made with brand new technology. It's not right. It's not. It hasn't been done this way at all. There's no real long-term studies on it. So you're asking me to trust a person I do not trust to give me a strange substance that doesn't really have a long-term history to take.
Well, it doesn't have a long-term history, but it has decades of research.
But it doesn't have the testing that, say, a flu shot had during World War II when they would do it for 2 or 3 years to make sure, right?
Yeah, but and we haven't had that. Yeah, we haven't had the time to do that.
No. So that's the hesitancy. That there is some, and it's somewhat justifiable if you look at it from that perspective. It does make sense. That all said, right? Like, I'm gonna wait 2 years because even though it's got all this wonderful research and stuff like this, there's also like a history. I've seen this in the States with the swine flu in '76. It's happened before where they rushed things out the gun that weren't ready. So I'm going to wait 2 years. I'm going to make sure that nobody's a zombie or any more of a zombie than they already are. And then at that point, I play ball. Because at that point, there's not only there's research, there's actual proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
Does that actually make sense?
Up to a point, because if everybody thought the way you did, then there would be no long-term history to look back at. There would be still the COVID running rampant because nobody would want it. So I mean, you've got to have some trust in the scientific method. And there might be side effects that they haven't seen yet. Are we all going to turn into brain-eating zombies? I kind of doubt it.
Probably not. But there is something to be said about going slow, right? Like, let's test it. And see having faith in the scientific process, looking at things, making sure it works, because you don't COVID's still going to be around. Even with the vaccine, COVID's probably still going to be around for who knows, right?
Yep.
So let's go slow. Let's make sure, because the people we want to save, I don't want them to suffer for something worse. They call me old-fashioned, but I want to be alive, and I don't want to be, and I don't want alive coming at the expense of you suffering more. This is like there is a way to go forward, and this is where I'm going to agree with you. There is a way to go forward, and we should go forward. But there is something to be said about that desire to get things normal back, and rushing into it isn't always a good thing either. That has happened before, and that has not gone well. So I take it cautious. Let's see how it goes. right? It
Okay.
sucks,
Oh,
but
what about something like the Johnson and Johnson, or I believe the Moderna one? They've been built on technologies that have been used in vaccines for a
the,
long time. Would you get one of those?
the Johnson and Johnson one, based on what I've seen today, no, because they just got called back in Europe because of possible blood clot side effects.
Okay, so the blood clot side effects, if you look at the percentage numbers,
Yeah,
right, they are so exceedingly low. Birth control
yeah,
pills for
sure.
women have a higher chance of blood clot, significantly higher chance
Mm-hmm.
for blood clot. Are they pulling those? No,
No,
because the the balance is there,
yeah,
right? So I
but
mean, they're panicking over really,
mm-hmm.
just by looking at the numbers, they're panicking over something that is significantly less than other things that cause blood clots that
Sure,
are already in use.
sure, but that's but again, there's just because of that. Again, everybody better safe than sorry is kind of my approach on that. But
All right.
again, again, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to like. I mean, I've heard some strange ones. Like I've heard some strange stories. I would rather, that maybe go. That's probably not going to happen. And I right myself. But I mean, it's just one of those things where I just look at it, it's like I understand the hesitancy, but I also get what you're saying too. But like at some point, we got to go forward as well, and that kind of meeting the minds. I again, I'm going to take a more cautious approach for the short term, right? And that's just me because again, I just yeah,
And it's your choice as well. I mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
It's
the nice
totally
thing
it.
about
Like
living in a free world.
yeah, yeah, and right. I hope I'm a little bit more reasonable than say some of the things you heard, right? But I mean, that's been my take. Like I've seen stuff like this rush before. Um, do you know what I honestly wish? The honest truth, we were more like Japan. Like just doctor patient confidentiality, get your treatments, no one worries. That would be just so much better, I think.
I don't know enough about
Yeah,
how
no,
Japan does it
fair
to.
enough.
Yeah.
We'll move on. No, it's like I said, it's interesting. It's interesting to watch because again, looking at what's going on, like I do think that this, I think we can definitely agree on for sure. I think the lack of integrity and consistency at the very top has created a lot of cascading effects going forward, and that
There's been issues throughout the entire process that have caused
yeah,
bigger issues. So
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I like this is something I really do think. I think in the next 10 years we're gonna have to really have an honest assessment of how we've been doing things up until this point, and really have an honest conversation versus where we want to go from here. Because
I'm hoping that actually happens sooner because
oh,
you don't, the world doesn't shut down for a year without coming out the other end different, right? And
sure,
I'm
absolutely.
hoping that I don't want to go back to the way it was. I don't want to go back to the status quo because
Oh God, no.
that doesn't work, right? It obviously doesn't work.
No.
And so,
Well, okay. Actually, let's just go in this direction from here. I think this is an interesting because we are science fiction and you are like theorizing about the future. Where would you like it to go? Like if like I think this is because okay, like on a personal note, from a science fiction point of view, I just finished writing a quiet dystopia. Oddly enough, I do think the era. I do think the era of. I do think the era of writing about the doom and gloom of the future is not going to be something that's going to fit in the long term. Like we should, because I think. I don't know about you, but I want happily ever afters for a little while on my TV screen. I don't know why. Like, call me. I like that, but I also think that happily ever afters are possible in the world too. And if any, if there's one good thing that has come out of this is that there are different ways of doing it, and there are and possibly better ones. So going forward, okay, we'll go this way. What do you hope sticks around? Like, what do you hope sticks around from this? What do you hope is better?
You know, I think, you know, I write dystopian novels, right? I mean, The Cur is dystopian.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not a path my brain normally takes, but you know, I hope that the world realizes that Wall Street is one corrupt mess and needs to be done entirely differently. You know, I think the you know, one of the optimum societies we can aim for is kind of like that the Star Trek environment where you know there's no money, and if there is, it's a, you know, something like a basic universal income or something like that or whatever. But you know, just things can't go the way they have because we're destroying the planet. We're destroying everything, and a lot of that is being funded and driven by what's happening on Wall Street. People wanting more and more and more money. I've got $18 billion. Well, I want $19 billion, and I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to hoard it. I'm not going to use it to make the world a better place. I'm going to use it to buy a bigger house and put in gold toilets, right? And I think that's the path that we have to leave behind. We have to dump that mentality and actually start thinking about helping your fellow man. You know, whether the money comes out of your pocket or that comes out of, eventually all comes out of our pockets, I guess, but out of our pockets or government's pockets or whatever, is that our job on this earth is to make the other people on the planet better, not worse. Right. And I think that's the goal. Right.
Yeah. Well, so I'll give you my three. They're going to do. I think they're fun ones, but I think they're very simple ones. We listen more, because I think one of the things that has happened in this time, one of the things I kind of recognized when things kind of went crazy, is there are big divides with people on how they see things and how they different things. You and I had a friendly disagreement over something, but we're still talking.
Oh yeah, I'm going to find out where you live now and tear down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're going to hunt me down. We just had a friendly disagreement, and then we moved on, and now we're talking. I mean, and then earlier on, I was talking about terrible jokes about being middle aged and crazy and going to become old and even crazier. I mean, right? But the point is, like, even though we disagree about some things, we have a lot more in common than we disagree with.
Right, and I think you and I agree on that point, and it's all about empathy and wanting to make the world a better place and your fellow man or fellow person, better.
And so, I was a very certain way when I started doing this podcast, and I've had the fortune and blessing of talking to amazing people like yourself. I've done 550 episodes. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, can you believe that? I can't. I still can't. I can't actually believe I've done this. But one of the things I've learned is, you know, and this is going to sound like really egotistical for a second. So the world is bigger than me. Like there is so much I see, but there's so much I don't. I've learned so much from each and every one of you. You in particular, I think the best thing, one of your best qualities as a human being, you're an incredibly humble guy. You work your ass off. I don't care what you say, like whether the work is easy in your day job. You work your ass off, but you're constantly getting better at what you do. And I do think one day you're going to be a full-time writer. And the reason why is because you want it. And I think you're going to get it.
It's going to happen after I retire.
No. I think you're going to get there soon. I honestly do. I truly do believe that. I think you're going to have an interesting choice down the road, and this is the interesting choice you're going to have. Actually, I should ask. Can I ask a fun question before I get to this point? How old are you? I don't know
56.
How old. Okay, so this is going to be a tough one for you. I think you are going to work. Because here's what I think. I think you're going to get there before you retire. I do think you're going to get there before you retire. But here's what I think. I think you're going to stick it out because it's going to be like right around. You're going to be like 60, 61. And you're going to be like, I can get the pension if I just stay here 3 more years.
I don't work at a job that gives me a pension.
Yeah. or right, but like you're gonna be very whatever benefits you've accumulated in your time, whatever like there's gonna be a temptation because I think you're gonna get there before you. I'll make that bet with you. I'm actually will make that bet with you on that one.
All right.
All right. I'll make that bet with you. But I think that's going to be your thing. Like you're going to have a moment. I think somewhere like right when you're at that point. Do I just jump off and do this full time, or do I just stick the course? I don't think you lose either way, but I do think it's going to be interesting. I think when it finally happens, it's going to be that nice. You're going to be like just close enough that's like I only need to work another year or two. That's my bet. Like that's my bet with you. But going back to what I'm saying is you're a humble guy that works your ass off at your craft, and you're someone that should be admired for what you do and your dedication. And I think I am nothing but happy for your success. And I've had this fortune of talking to so many different people. The world is so much bigger than I can possibly imagine, and I've learned so much from all of you. Could you imagine if I had been an obnoxious asshole and didn't listen to any of you?
You're not?
I'm not. I
know. I'm sorry.
You know I was right there. I gave it to you. Right? Low-hanging fruit. But, yeah, like, you know what? Like, you were, like, if I had been, I would have missed so much. Like, honest to God, I've learned to listen, and it's so amazing to hear all your stories. And honestly, what I sincerely wish for all of us going forward, because for some reason we've gotten rid of this whole concept of compromise, right? Maybe you and I are not disagreement. We come to a compromise on how long I wait. Right? We come to a compromise there. And we both live with it because you understand. It's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but you're going to like pull your ass forward. Just pull it a little bit more forward. I'll be like, but do you blame me for waiting? Okay. And you'll be like, yeah, fine. No, I get where you're coming from. Let's settle at this time. Okay. I live with it. You live with it. We move on, right? And compromise. It's a beautiful word. But we've stopped doing it. And the thing I think the thing that amazes me, and this sounds like really simplistic shit, but if we listen more, we talk to each other and figure out what we have in common, and what we have in common, and what we can agree on, and we come to those compromises and where we don't agree, because really. We probably disagree on a lot of things fundamentally in terms of how we think the world works. But what we both have in common is we really don't know anything, and we'll just have a beer over it when it's over and laugh at ourselves for being so silly to think we have any answers. Right? I mean, that's right.
I definitely have no answers.
Exactly. But you have booze. So that's
right.
That's right. So all of which to say, right, it's not that hard. But I think because we've had this curse of distance, blessing of, okay, you are in Winnipeg, I'm in Windsor, Ontario. There, you know where to find me now. Good luck.
Oh, I knew before.
Yeah, but it's great. I get to talk to you. It's not quite the same. I wish it was in person. I wish it was at a pub or at a coffee shop or at somewhere where we could sit down, just chill. At the same time though, right, that distance makes people think, I don't have to compromise. I don't have to see the world your way. You don't have to see the world. I don't have to see the world your way. But I have to accept the fact that you have your own point of view and your own story with how the world works. Yeah, and I think that's the solution to the future.
Yeah, compromise is great. Yeah. But, even if you can't compromise, that doesn't mean that I'm going to force my opinion down your throat and make you live your life the way I think it should be, or the other way around, right? I mean, and even when compromise can't be made, you can still live peacefully together just by letting the people do whatever they want, whatever, as long as they're not, harming somebody or destroying the earth or whatever, then.
Well, most people kind of just get this whole day. Are you hurting anybody? No. Then really, should I really care what goes on? No. Yeah. Right? I mean, really, it's like live and let live. It sounds so, but I mean, Mr. Science Fiction Man, we're gonna have to confront those in power if we're gonna do this. You know that, right? At some point, some of us are gonna say, you know what? We need you to stop dividing us so we can actually work together and fix this shit.
And we already have that ability.
Yes.
Because we vote in our leaders.
Yes.
Right? And the vote is one of the most powerful things we have in changing the way our government works.
Okay, this is kind of quote unquote COVID question. Last one. Would you vote for any of these guys again after what you've seen here?
Well, at some point we're going to have to.
I know.
Yeah, it's. I can't answer that one. It's something that I'd have to give a significantly more thought to. I know there's people out there right now that I will never vote for because I think that they are unskilled and for the most part belligerent and unable to compromise or have empathy of any sort. So I will never vote for them. But it's not a question I can answer off the top of my head.
It's fair because I had asked myself like legitimately after what I have Doug Ford, and I traded Jason Kenney for Doug Ford. I'm not sure I won that trade. I'm not really sure. So
if you want to make a third move and lose, come to Manitoba.
Yeah. I've thought about it. No. Like legitimately speaking, if there was anywhere in Canada, like there are 3 or 4 places in Canada I'd love to live. One of them is Winnipeg because you guys have a great community there. You really, really do. Ottawa intrigues me. Toronto. If I go back and try to get into the movie business again, I gotta go back to Toronto or Kelowna. I like Kelowna. I think I enjoy Kelowna. But those would be the 4 places in Canada I would consider. In Winnipeg, I think I'd want to be a little more established as a writer before I'd move there, though, because it's kind of I don't want to say empty exactly, but it reminds me of some other towns in Ontario, and the worst qualities that made me go, maybe if I come out here, I either have a trade or I'm really doing well as a writer, so I don't have to. I can just do my own thing,
right?
And that's the impression I get with Winnipeg. But that all said, I'd like you guys have a great community out there. You guys really do, right? So there's there's Chadwick, oh man, her name just completely. Sam Biko's out there. I think she's incredible. I think there's some other people like Christine Steele, AP Fuchs. Like there's some really you guys have a very, very strong group of writers out there, and it'd be cool even if it was just for a short time, just to go out there and hang out with you guys. It'd be fun.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're a bunch of fun people.
You are. You guys.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That'll set. No, guys, I think that the one thing we're science fiction in the future. In a future without compromise, empathy, and freedom is not a future worth living. I think we can agree on that, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that.
I think so. Yeah.
So there we go. My first official answer to how life works. How'd I do? Did that sound good? Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. On that note, dude, you got a really cool hardcover out there. Honestly, your cover for Threader Origins, you showed me the other cover, which is super cool, but the Threader Origins cover is amazing. Who was your cover artist on that or designer?
I don't think they actually put it on. I was told it was the Penguin Random House design department, but it was one guy. and I'm thinking it's the same guy that did this one.
Which one you want to read out first? That's Threat or War. That's the next book in the series.
That's the next book in the series, and
yeah.
I have his name on the tip of my tongue.
He's really good.
Yeah, Adam. He's part. I believe he's part of the Penguin Random House art department, and he was very good at taking feedback on what I thought should be changed, and we went through a few iterations on both of those covers, and he did very, very well.
So, do you know what my favorite thing on besides the art? Honestly, it's the eye, like the way it. So when you read, no, it's not. I mean, the eye of how the person will read it. People will read like the way the eye works is like it's a Z. Like we read like a Z, right? So people will go Threader. They will look at your awesome image, right? Then they'll see your name, which I think is actually it's a really, really cool. Like he said, he did a fantastic job, and also
I think they did.
Yeah. Also, your name's bigger on there. Getting there, man.
It is bigger on there than the last one.
Yes, it is. It is. You're getting there. So. When next time, one of these times, it's going to be on top. Your name will be on top, and the cover will be somewhere in the middle. It's like it doesn't matter anymore. Hey,
well, we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
I know, but hey, listen. If I can't root for my friends, who can't I root for, right? So right. So I think that's how I see it. So, that all said, dude. I think we had a wonderful chat. What do you think?
I think it went rather well.
Yeah. So I mean, I interview people. It's kind of what I do. So that all said, my friend. So this Threader Origins is your latest release. When did that come out, and when does the next one come
out? Threader Origins came out January 12th of this year. Threader War will be coming out. I believe the date is January 4th of next year. Mm-hmm. And the third one, Threader God, which is the one I'm finishing right now, will be coming out in January of 2023.
So what's the concept about? What's Threader about?
I wrote it originally. I wrote it as a portal fantasy where somebody gets pulled into another world, an alternate reality. And again, like I say, I wrote it as a fantasy with a full magic system and everything like that. And then after reading it and using very loosely quantum strings as the basis for the magic system, and I have to say very loosely because there's no way I'm near intelligent enough to understand quantum strings or quantum theory. So, but after pulling in all that and talking to Sheila, my editor, we decided that it was really a science fiction novel with I guess we could call it almost science fantasy, but DAW doesn't have a science fantasy line. They only have science fiction. So it's a science fiction novel of a university student who gets pulled into an alternate world and does everything he possibly can to try to get back home, so that what he sees happened in the world he got transported to doesn't happen to his world. He doesn't want them. They're both on the same path. One's a little further ahead down that path, and he doesn't want the same thing happening to his world. So basically all he does is try to get home. Unfortunately, there's obstacles in the way.
Yeah. Well, that's the best kind of stories. There's always going to be obstacles in the way. There's always going to be obstacles in the way. So, Threader Origins, it's hardcover?
Threader Origins is hardcover. Yeah.
So I got to give you another congratulations, man. I mean, that is based. And so for everybody, so January all 3 times. So how can people find you? And then when you're done, that stay, because I gotta do the plugs, and I ask you some fun stuff when it's over. So
okay,
yeah.
How can they find me? I'm on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm on Facebook. Gerald Brandt author on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'm on Twitter as Gerald Brandt. I'm on Instagram, although that's kind of a little off to the side, is Gerald Brandt on Instagram, and I just started Vero, I think is the one. Mm-hmm. It's a new social media platform, Vero, I think it's called. Yeah, and I just started on that. I only have 2 posts on there and no friends. So
go make.
And I have a webpage as well.
So guys on Vero, listen, you know what you need? Actually, we'll wrap this up like this, and I'll wrap up. Did you ever read Lethal Weapon 4 like ending credits? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we? You need to do that on Bureau. It's like just hi, I'm Gerald. I'm looking for friends. I write. I'm good at it apparently. I mean publishers pay me, so I guess I'm good at this. And and just be a little obnoxious. You probably find friends. Like yeah, honestly, man. Seriously, I meant what I said. You're one of the most humblest guys I know, and you've accomplished an incredible amount, and you should be very proud of yourself. Honestly,
Thank you.
yeah, honest God. And for everybody else, this is this episode just joshing. If you want to support this podcast, you can do so a number of different ways. Hit the like and follow button on Twitch. I am actually very close to being an affiliate, so I mean, if you get more people watch it, fantastic. Just tell people about the show. I'm on YouTube as well as Joshua Pinteloresco. Hit there. It's Poetry Month. Check out Owl Zero, which is available now on Amazon if you want to do that. And to the rest, stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Gerald.
Thanks.
And hold on.